my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds and sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. I am indeed really glad you're here. It's Monday, April 14th, 2025. Live stream number 192. I can't believe it's another week gone by. But it's good to see you. I'm still coughing a bit, so bear with me. And I might have to mute a few more times. Anyway, doing much better. Is there something on my eye? What is that? It's in my eye. I think it's a wood chip. Or you know what it probably is? It's probably a piece of a little chip from PVC pipe. I was cutting some PVC pipe today, and I was using the saw, not the, I was using the, what's the word for the chop saw? The miter saw, I guess that's what it is. Yeah, anyway, works well for cutting PVC pipe. Nice square edges. Anyway, had little white chips all over. I think that was in my eye. Anyway, welcome to this live stream. If you're new to the channel, because we've had lots of people subscribe over the past week, so there could be several people here who have never been here before. So if you've never been here before on a live stream, be sure to say hi in the live chat, because it's here we go. That didn't take long. I probably was inhaling some PVC plastic too. That's terrible. Anyway, if it's your first time here in the live chat, please say hi so we can welcome you appropriately. Let us know how you found the channel. Was it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok? Because that's where you can find a little bit of content from the channel on all those different platforms. Did you see the video I posted today, the short video, the short on YouTube or the reel on Facebook? I need to put that on Instagram. I didn't put it on Instagram and TikTok. But my DeWalt drill finally burned up. I bought it, I said 12 years ago. I think it's actually 13 years ago. I think I bought it in 2012. I bought the DeWalt kit that came with. DeWalt kit came with a hammer drill, half-inch hammer drill, and the little impact gun, 2 amp hour batteries, and a charger. And I bought that when I started a new job in 2012. So it's been a good set. I really just wanted a good cordless drill. That's why I bought the set, and it came with this little impact driver with it. And I thought, that's dumb. I'm not going to use that because I always used a drill, put like a Phillips bit in the drill, and I'd use that to drive screws. So I thought, the impact driver, I'm never going to use that. Man, I have used that more than anything, more than the drill. At my job that I had when I was doing some hands-on work, I would use that impact driver nearly every day, and even now, that is my go-to tool. I am grabbing that all the time because, you know, you setting door hinges or anything with screws, you just use the impact driver. And man, that I can't tell you how many times. I bet you I use that thing. I probably grab it almost every other day, maybe 3 times a week. It's a good little tool. We put on an entire garage roof with that thing, a metal roof. You know, drove all the screws in. It's held up really well. The drill, though, and I've drilled a lot. It's a hammer drill, so I've drilled a lot with that. That burned up today. So that is no more. I was looking to see, somebody made a comment that you could get a new motor for it and replace the motor. I'm not so sure, and I don't know that I want to mess with that too much, but I'll show you. I'll show you what happened here. I mean, you should go watch the video, but anyway, there it is. Blowing smoke. I can't get the smell out of my nostrils. Maybe it's in the house. Awful. Just awful. But all right. Yep. So Chris said when my DeWalt died, I made the switch to red. That's what Phil made a comment on the video just recently. Time to switch to red. But these companies, they get you because you buy into their ecosystem, and it's not so bad. I think I've got 4 or 5 of the 20-volt DeWalt batteries, but I have all the tools now. I started with that drill set, and then I got the reciprocating saw, the multi-tool. I've got the 6-inch circular saw. I got an electric chainsaw for Ann that uses those batteries. What else do I have? A little portable vacuum cleaner. So many things. Hedge trimmers. They all use those batteries. So I think I'm committed to the DeWalt 20-volt system. I'm not ready to start making those changes. So anyway, oh look, there's Ann. Good to see you, Ann. Ann's going to join me in person one of these times. I said, the folks want you to be on the live stream, so we're going to have you on. And there is our friend Hunter. Good to see you, Hunter. Thanks for being here. Thanks for commenting on all the videos, and I hope you're doing well. Shout out to Hunter, everybody, like we did last week. All right, I'm going to look through some comments here. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to just kind of free roll here. Let me get rid of that chat there. Sorry, Chris, had your chat up the whole time. I'll look through and see what's going on here. Yeah. But I like that. I've been really happy with that DeWalt system. No complaints. And again, that drill lasted 12 years. And I have done some really heavy use with that. Like so many of the things I own, I kind of push it to its limit. But I know there have been times when I was using that hammer drill function on that. And I mean, the drill itself, the motor was just getting so hot. And obviously that's wearing down at that point when it's doing that. So it's been used appropriately over the years. And today I was trying to drill a 4-inch hole through 2 layers of floor here in the house, and you hit nails and stuff as you're going through, but the drill just kept stopping, and I thought this battery must not be good. So I went and got another battery, fully charged, 4 amp hour, still stopping, and it just didn't seem to have the power that it should. And then it started smoking, and then I knew, and I kept pushing it because I wanted to get through the floor one last time, and it stopped about a 1/4 inch short. So I had to go borrow a drill from somebody and finish the job. But anyway, that's the story of my DeWalt drill for today. Had a little fun incident a few minutes ago. Ann, if you're still watching, I'm gonna call you out on this. Ann is in love with the Bombelite brush mulcher. I mean, I can't get my hands on that thing because, she's always using it. But she's doing a great job. She's been out in the woods, and we've been testing it before I even make an official video about it. But she's doing a great job with it. You've seen pictures that I posted of Ann running it, and she's doing really, really good. So, but then she texted me about an hour ago and said, I need your help. So there it is. She was mulching. She was mulching downhill, and the thing is a little front heavy, especially if you pick up the mulching head, and it tilted forward. So it's good it didn't catapult you off of that thing, but when it does that, it's just kind of a little top heavy and just almost slow motion. Anyway, that was just fun. Everything's fine, all safe. Got the tractor I got the tractor with the forks, and I went under the mulching head and just lifted it up to rock the mulcher back into place, and all good from there. All good. So, anyway, again, if you're new to the live stream, we do this Monday evenings, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., just for 1 hour, pretty much every Monday night. So we do this. We kind of free roll with conversation, interactive live chat, which is what we're doing here tonight. Sometimes we have interesting guests, and that will be coming up pretty soon. And then later, before we wrap up, we're going to do a sticker giveaway. And you'll have an opportunity to win some stickers before the evening is done. You don't you don't realize how much you cough until you're you know monitoring it. Like until you're not allowed to cough. Like if you're in a, you know how you go to a quiet place and that's when you feel like, oh, I didn't start coughing till I got there. No, you did. You just didn't notice it because you had to suppress it. Okay, back to if you're new to the live stream, we do this Monday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. It's an interactive live chat. If you have a question for me or for the group, you know, if it's about tractors or things like that, post your question in the live chat like this with the word question followed by the question, and we'll see if we can answer that. I've got some purple primer on my nails from the glue. When I open the primer for the PVC glue, you know, that stuff is so thin, runs all over the place. So anyway, post your question like that. And really, yeah, David said Ann needs to eat more carbs. Yep. She was too light for it, I guess, going forward. All right, and Hunter, yes, I know you want to win the stickers. I sent you some stickers, buddy, but you can still enter to win. I don't know if you entered last time, but make sure you do it this time. You might have an opportunity. And yes, that's right. And yes, Easter is coming. This is Easter. Well, I don't know. It's Easter week because the week starts on Sunday and Easter is Sunday. Anyway, it is Easter week. You know, we have Good Friday coming up on Friday and then Easter coming up on Sunday. So for those of us who celebrate Easter, happy Easter week. For those who celebrate Passover this week, we've got our Jewish friends who are celebrating Passover this entire week. And I don't know what your traditions are, but if you celebrate Easter, one thing that we did as kids was we would color Easter eggs. I mean, most people who celebrate do that. Hard-boiled eggs. We would color Easter eggs, and then Easter morning we would what's called ditch eggs. I think it's an old German tradition, but it was a game that we would do in the morning. You'd have your eggs. And you know how an egg has a pointy side and a dull side. So you'd hold up your egg, you know, you'd hold it with like the dull side up, and you'd say to your brothers and sisters, I got a dull side here, and then they would take their egg with the dull side up and then smash it onto your egg, and whichever one broke or whichever one didn't break, that was the winning egg. And then you have the dull side, then you flip it over to the pointy side, and then they would take their pointy side and hit it. And sometimes theirs would break, sometimes yours would break. So in the end, you'd have the winning egg after Sunday morning. And then the eggs are all cracked, so you peel them, and, you know, Mom would make egg salad out of that. So that was our tradition. It's like fiddler. Tradition. Anyway, that was our tradition. And of course, Easter baskets, you know, my mom would hide the Easter baskets. I remember one Easter in particular, and I was probably like 8 years old. Maybe I was even younger. But I had 3 siblings, still do, but 3 siblings growing up. I'm the baby, the youngest one. And I remember this Easter that all the kids would run around finding their Easter baskets. You know, Mom would hide them the Easter Bunny would hide them in the closet or whatever. And all 3 of them had found their Easter baskets, and I couldn't find mine. And I just started crying. And it was just like, it was just traumatic. And then I think my sister helped me find it. And it was in the, as I recall, it was like behind we had a humidifier in the living room, or a dehumidifier. I think it was a humidifier. Anyway, it was behind that, and she helped me find it. But I remember being so sad and upset that I couldn't find my Easter basket, and they found theirs. So, yes, happy birthday, Margaret. What a special day this is. Everybody, big shout out to Margaret. Happy birthday to Margaret. Maybe we should do a sticker giveaway and nobody enters except for Margaret. Wouldn't that be fun? All right. Well, let's see if you have any questions. And see what else we can talk about here. Oh, this is fun. This is like a teaser. All right, I'm gonna give you a teaser here. I've partnered with some companies in the past. Artillion has provided some things that I've demonstrated on the channel and used on the channel. Bombelite, of course, with the brush mulcher, the 3-point brush mulcher, and the miniature stump grinder, and of course now the mini skid steer. So we're partnering with Bombelite, and that's some of that is just for me to test out the equipment. There was a little glitch there, it looked like. I don't know if that was on my end or everybody's end, but sometimes it's just for me to test it out. Like when Bombelite sent me the 1P14 stump grinder, I think it was still kind of in development, before it was actually gone to production. So they wanted people to test it out, to kind of promote it on the channel. So that's what I've done with that. And and other times it's just to help give them exposure and helps give me content. So it's pretty fair there. Anyway, partnering with them, you may have seen some pictures of the Bighorn 450 Timberland side by side UTV. I am working with them now too, and you'll see that Bighorn Timberland side by side here on the channel as well. And we've been testing that out. It's a brand new model, by the way. You can buy Bighorns. A lot of them are sold through Tractor Supply or other independent dealers, but the Bighorn 450 Timberland is the first model of that size now with power steering. It's a pretty neat unit, and I'll do a video explaining it, but it's got power steering, it's got Apple CarPlay radio, which means it has GPS, it has a backup camera, and other things that a side-by-side normally has, a little dump body. It's got a metal bed on it, so it's pretty neat. And for the price of that, it's like only 2/3 the price of the mule or so. I think it sells for like $9,000. The mule was like $15,000. So we're testing that out now too. But I I have another kind of exciting partnership coming up, and I'll talk about that soon, but I haven't signed the papers yet, so I'm not going to talk about that now. Yep. So we'll see. Oh, I am going to be, spring is, well, it's here on the calendar, but my gosh, it's been cold this week. I thought we were done with the wood stove. We're burning through really our last bit of seasoned firewood. We're going to just make it through. If we have to light a few more fires this week, we're going to blow through the rest of that firewood. So, but then it's warming up. It's coming there. So I'm going to be tilling soon. I'm going to be planting wildflowers again from American Meadows. If you've not yet ordered your wildflower seeds, I do recommend American Meadows. They've been good to me. I've ordered from them for the past 5 years. Last year we partnered with them, and they provided some flower seeds, and we planted them. We're doing the same thing again this year. But also, I am going to be putting out a discount code. I worked with them to say, I really would like the viewers to have a discount code, so I can share that soon. I might be able to share that with you now, actually, if you want to get your seeds ordered. Bear with me here, and I will see what I can do. How's that sound? Good idea? All right, here's a big long link. Here's a big long link that I will share, and if you click on this link, that will take you to American Meadows, and they will can you click on that? I don't know if you can click on links that I share. Can you? Error occurred. All right, I don't know. Anyway, that is a link you can click on, and that will take you to American Meadows. Even if that doesn't work, here's the other thing I want to share with you, though. That you can get a discount of 10%. Let me just cut and paste this here for you. AmericanMeadows.com. You can get 10% off your order with coupon code GARAGE25. Sorry, GARAGE25. 10% off an order of $50 or more with coupon code GARAGE25. So enter that at American Meadows, meadows.com. Right, there you go. And yes, I'm promoting this company because I really believe them. They're a small business located in, is it Maine or Massachusetts? Maine, Vermont, maybe? I think Vermont. Anyway, we had Mike on here, the owner, last year. Maybe we'll have him back this year to talk about wildflower seeds. He's the wildflower guy and really interesting person. So we're going to be tilling along the driveway. A little different place this time. We're going to be tilling along the driveway, and we're going to be sowing the wildflower seeds, the cosmos and zinnias. We're getting a northeast wildflower mix. We're going to plant that over on the hill, and I hope you'll follow along to see all that. But it's a good local company, so that's why I'm promoting them, and I hope that you'll click on their page and use the coupon code GARAGE25 for 10% off your order of $50 or more. It's a lot of numbers, right? So, and that coupon code will expire, I think, the end of May. So you want to get those orders in soon. All right. And also look at their website of other things. We're also getting the sunflowers. We get the Henry Wild sunflowers. I like their very traditional shape. They're not ginormous. They're not the giant ones, whatever they're called, giants. But they're big enough. That's for sure. All right, I'm going to look through some comments now. Uh-oh, David W., your auger bearing went out on your pellet stove. So no more. Well, that shouldn't be too bad to fix, I think. That shouldn't be too hard, but anyway, good luck with that. I'm looking at questions. That's why I'm pausing for a moment. A few years ago, I tilled up some areas at the other property because we had this really warm March. And I'm like, yay, spring is here. Start tilling, start seeding. I think we even planted corn, and it was early March. And then come April, we had freezing weather again, much like we've had here this April. So I've learned, just wait it out. And I need to get that tiller going probably in the next week or two, because we also don't want to miss the little bit of rainy season, because the wildflower seeds, they grow like weeds, but they do need a little bit of moisture. So it's great if you can get them in, and then a few rains just to start the germination process. So Chris has a question. If anybody has any tips about spring seeding for grass seed, I don't have any tips for you, Chris, because I've planted some grass seed and I just kind of throw it down. If I don't, or if I till it, throw it down. I know it's important to put if you can get a bale of straw after you seed and lay that straw down, that keeps the moisture in, and that seems to help quite a bit. Keeps the seed from washing away in the rain. So that light layer of straw, I see that done a lot, and I think that's a good thing. But we'll let the pros in the audience talk to you about spring seeding of grass. We've got a little bit to do ourselves here. All right. Bear with me here. I'm going to look back, see if I miss anything here. Again, if you have a question, post it in the live chat. I'm going to get Josh, Stony Ridge farmer. We chatted back and forth. He was a live stream guest a few years ago. Met up with him at the Farm Machinery Show, and anyway, we want to get him back on here. It was supposed to happen like right after the Farm Machinery Show, and he got some kind of bug when he came back, and he was sick. I think it might have been like what I had, because it really knocked him down, he said. So this has been so weird, because now I'm like a month with this thing. Excuse me. A month. Over a month now. But I know I'm not alone. I know a lot of people have had it. So, okay. So, well, there we go. Hunter. I mean, today's Margaret's birthday, but Hunter has a birthday next month, going to be 18. Congratulations. On Sunday. Happy birthday to Hunter on May the 4th. Star Wars Day, Hunter, right? May the 4th be with you. Well, let's remember that. Somebody help me remember that. Because if we do a live stream on May the 5th, Hunter will be 18 years old. How about that? You're growing up fast, Hunter. Too fast. All right. Hello, Dan from Massachusetts. Good to see you. Okay. Wade says, have I jumped the creek with the bighorn yet? I haven't. I'll be honest, though, Wade. We have a little hill here across just like the other house, across the driveway. Not as good. I did run it pretty fast up that hill just to see if it could get airborne a little bit, but I didn't do it. I am not treating that machine lightly. I've been using it. It's filthy right now. I got to get some video and pictures of it, going through the mud and stuff. But I have not been babying it. It's if it's going to work on the farm, it's going to have to work. And I have been pretty impressed with it. And you're going to see some other content creators with bighorns because they're doing a kind of a push for social media, which is smart. A lot of companies they're starting to get it. They're starting to see the value of even smaller channels promoting their products because it is and in no way is it taking advantage of the viewers, but it is direct to consumer marketing. I use things here on the farm and on the channel, and you watch the channel because that's meaningful to you. So these a lot of times are products or items that you may need as well. So it really works, which is why I'm very particular about things that I will present on the channel or use or show on the channel. I get emails, as you've heard from other content creators, emails every single day. We want you to test out our battery station, floating candles, women's jewelry, hula hoops. I mean, it's just crazy all the things that get sent my way. But I also have gotten some things, tools, things like that, that might be useful, but I think not useful enough. And I'm not gonna become a shopping channel. That's not my goal. Which is kind of what's bugs me about TikTok a little bit. I liked I liked watching TikTok. I still do, but it seems like at least half of what you flick through on TikTok are promoting products on the TikTok shop. So it's like the shopping network for the internet. So um, I don't like that too much. And I did try to set up a TikTok store or whatever because I thought, well, you know what, I'll promote some products on TikTok. It's a different audience. Um, and I got to make a living. Bottom line is that's the truth of the matter. Got to make a living. So, but TikTok is weird. I applied for this TikTok shop and it rejected. I uploaded documents and somehow it rejected them. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And then I go back and find out there was a time limit to appeal the rejection. And now it says your shop is permanently closed because you missed your deadline for appealing. And there's no way to open it back up again. And like you could use a different email, different sign up under somebody else's name, something like that. But what a pain that is. So anyway, I don't sell anything on TikTok, and I'm not monetized on TikTok. And I think it's only really good for people who have those viral videos. So yeah, jump the driveway, jump the creek. No, we have a big creek here. I don't have anything that would jump that for sure. You'd almost need a car, Evel Knievel motorcycle to jump that. So, all right, David Martin got his Mech stump grinder on Thursday. The BX struggled a bit to lift it with the pallet forks. Yeah, that's a pretty big stump grinder, I think. If it's the same as, I think it's the 24-inch flywheel, that's a lot for a BX, I think. That was the beauty of this Bauma 1P14 is it's only an 18-inch flywheel, and it's really made for subcompact tractors. Yeah, the 24-inch, that's a lot for a little tractor. So good luck with that, but just rev it up and take little bites with it, I guess. Okay. Jeffrey put clover down to feed the bees. That's a good idea for overseeding. Linda's bees are still here. We got 3 hives out there. They've been very active. So that's a good thing. And of course, we've got the sheep, and they like clover. All right. Yes, Anne and Margaret met on Margaret's 18th birthday. Look at Chris. So that was 10 years ago, right? That's right, 28. Okay. What else here? Thank you for the reminder to hit that like button. And, oh yeah, Ed needs a General Lee. I could jump the creek with that, right? That is a fun car. You know, I was of that generation when I watched the Dukes of Hazzard when it was on, not in reruns, but every weeknight, whatever weeknight it was, I'd be ready to watch the Dukes of Hazzard. And during that time when the Dukes of Hazzard was on, that was the early 80s, I guess. Remember the Dodge truck commercials where the spokesperson would walk out and talk about Dodge trucks, and then from behind him, this Dodge truck would drop from the ceiling and crash to the floor, and it would bounce, and it was just showing how tough Dodge trucks were. And I never knew if that was real or not. If they really dropped it from, they had to have dropped it from like 8 feet because it was out of the frame, and then it would drop in and bounce. And I don't know how that worked out. But anyway, It was that, and then Ford would be climbing this pile of rocks, and then each commercial was like, and now the Ford is towing a Chevy behind it, climbing this pile of rocks. And then next week it's like, and now the Ford has a Chevy on the back, towing a GMC, and it was climbing the rocks. And so I'd watch Dukes of Hazzard, and then my friend would call me up like after the show. He's like, "Did you see that commercial with that Ford truck?" And like, you know, we were nerds. But that was a good time, good entertainment for sure. And I've come to realize over the past few years, now that I watch reruns of old shows that I used to watch, we grew up on terrible television. I mean, it was bad, really bad. You know what one of my favorite shows was back then in the 80s? Three's Company. Three's Company. I loved that show. John Ritter was awesome. That show's terrible. If you watch reruns of that show, it's like moderately funny. It's like not even good acting. It's like not even good directing. And I know it's a classic. It's a classic for the time, for what it was. It was not, it's not good TV. Um, you know, Dukes of Hazzard was okay, but not necessarily great TV. My all-time favorite show was The $6 Million Man, and I was so excited to find that in reruns only a few years ago. That's a good show, but still, TV was different back then. Even up into the 90s, like Ann and I, she watches it more from me probably, but we love watching, or I love watching reruns of Walker, Texas Ranger, um, with Chuck Norris. I just like the show, but it's again, it's kind of bad acting, kind of bad directing. Um, but I also like bad TV. Like there's some maybe because that's what I grew up on. Um, but like Hallmark movies, I know that's a girls show, girls network supposed to be. But anyway, I don't really watch. But I'll watch if it's if Anne's watching. I'll watch some Hallmark. I remember the Lifetime. Is that even a network anymore? It used to be called Lifetime Television for Women. I was like, I kind of like these movies, but it was because they were so bad. And Ann and I will watch these shows or these movies, and we're like, what's bad? Why is this bad? Like it looks good, but it's bad. And over time, we've kind of come to the conclusion that it's good production value, but it's bad directing, bad script. I don't want to say bad acting, but I think it's more so a bad script and maybe bad directing. Um, but sometimes I like bad TV. Like, I don't know why. I just do. Margaret remembers that commercial. Which one? The Dodge truck dropping in or the Ford climbing the rocks? Which one? So, hey, Tap That Sugar Shack. Tap That Sugar Shack. Small channel. Just order the 1P14. Bombalight's working with me, and you're paying for it. That's but getting a nice discount for showing the summer grant. That's good. Bombalight's a great company to work with people, and that's good to hear. And I think you'll really enjoy it. I'm glad to hear that it's in production because when I had put out the video about that stump grinder, there was a lot of interest. That video on TikTok, my short video about that 1P14 has nearly 200,000 views. A lot of comments on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, people saying, where can I get this? Or I can't find it on the website. So I reached out to Bombalite and I said, get this thing on your website to at least say coming soon. And I think they put it on as a pre-order because they were basically getting ready to gear up for production of it. So so that's good to know. It's good to know. So yep. David says, speaking of tools, with all the tariffs, we'll soon be thinking Snap-on tools are cheap compared to the Harbor Freight. I think they're all going to be expensive, to be honest with you. And I think even Harbor Freight tools are still going to be cheaper. Harbor Freight has has improved too. You know, they have their own line of decent quality tools. I bought some box wrenches from them over the summer, I think. I didn't get the best ones, but they weren't terribly cheap because I realized, you know, I've had these old wrenches since I was a teenager. Weren't great quality, but they lasted. You know, I'm not a mechanic, but you know, these tools, they last for sure. But yeah, Snap-on, I don't know. I don't know how people feel about Snap-on. I know they make a very good product, but it's also been a bit of a status symbol for mechanics too, I think, to have Snap-on. So I don't know if they're still riding that reputation or if they're slipping a bit. I just don't know. But I've never been a Snap-on person. So just because I don't know. Well, also they're not in stores, right? They had the truck. Anyway, yeah, Wade, you had a call. You missed your answer. No, I didn't. I didn't jump the bighorn. Did not jump. Didn't I went pretty fast over the hill, but did not. Yeah, and Chris, I don't know, man. Chuck Norris, karate good, acting not so much. But the karate was even, at least the fight scenes in the show were obviously kind of fake, but entertaining. You know what I like about that show? Well, first of all, not that I like this, but there's a lot of shooting in that. I feel like there's less shooting in shows today. Like I think there was like shooting and killing in that show, but there was never any blood. But what I like about it is like when Chuck Norris or him and his partner, they had this fight scene, and I forget his partner's name. I know he died in the past year or two, which is sad because I liked him a lot. Um, but they have these fight scenes, you know, and the guy comes up from behind, and Chuck Norris swings around and hits the guy, and the guy falls down and he's knocked out. Like, I don't think people get knocked out that easily. You know, like he wipes out the whole room, and they're all laying on the floor, you know, from one hit. But anyway, it's I do like that show, and it's on a lot. When you find the network that shows it, it's sometimes show after show. So it's just entertaining. Uh, yeah. See, Wade loves some Walker. It's good. It's good bad TV. All right. Well, maybe we'll have a live stream talking just about TV. A lot of interest in that. So Green Acres, yeah, I used to watch that as a kid. I did really like Hogan's Heroes. That was a show I watched a lot. That was in reruns for me as a kid, but I did like that show a lot. And a lot of the sitcoms, I like recently I saw, um, is it not What's Happening? What's the one with J.J. Walker? That wasn't What's Happening. What's Happening was Roger and the other guys. Um, anyway, my brain's not working, but that's why I count on you for what's the show with J.J. Walker. Anyway, I like that show, but I watched it the other day, and same thing. It's like it's not really that funny. Maybe it was back then. Maybe we were just. Maybe it's just we were simpler back then, more easily entertained. Will I be making an appearance in Canada this year? I don't plan to be, although we did last year for the eclipse. Oh yeah, Sanford and Son, Archie Bunker, um, All in the Family. That was pretty good. I don't feel like that was bad. Sanford and Son, that was entertaining. Maybe not quite as good, but I really enjoyed that show. How's the Ranger doing? Well, let me tell you, it's doing great. We're running that little truck around quite a bit. Um, my nephew brought some refrigerant over, and the air conditioner actually worked, but it must have a leak because it stopped working. So I don't know if it's a bad compressor. I'm probably going to want to get that fixed if we're going to drive it in the summertime because air conditioning is nice to have. But otherwise, it's running really well. Yeah, Hunter, the DR trimmer. I did a video with that. Maybe you saw that with my brother-in-law. He has one, and we did a little video demonstrating that on his John Deere subcompact. So they're pretty nice. Right. Oh, Johnny Dangerously, yes. Linda, of course. Bastages. Funny movie. That was funny. Yeah, there's some old, well, I mean, I gotta say this, all time favorite sitcom of mine. Some of you know it. Some of you know this about me. The Dick Van Dyke Show. I love that show so much, and that show was great script, great acting, great directing, just a great show. And what's his name? The guy who originated it. I have a signed autograph of his picture. I can't think of his name again. Sorry. You'll say it though. One of you will say it and tell me. You know, the dad of Meathead from All in the Family. Anyway, when he wrote that show, he wanted it to be timeless. They didn't talk about current events on that show because he didn't want the show to be dated, and that really worked for the show because it worked. It's still relevant. You know, it was about a TV show writer, but just so funny. And I actually got the chance to share a story with Dick Van Dyke's wife. Her name is Arlene Silver. And Dick Van Dyke's going to turn 100 this year. So I was on Instagram one time, and I found her account, and I sent her an instant message. And she replied. And she said, I don't usually reply. So I got to have a little conversation with Dick Van Dyke's wife. And I told her this story. And this is the story. Ann and I had a routine with our youngest child. And when they were like 10 years old, we would watch an episode of Dick Van Dyke every night. Sometimes, I got another glitch there. We would watch an episode of Dick Van Dyke every night, sometimes 2 episodes. And we did this for several months. I had the DVD box set that one of the other kids bought me for Christmas years ago. So we would we'd watch this. And after like a couple weeks, we were having breakfast. I remember this conversation. And again, this is a 10-year-old I'm talking to. And I said, you know, the Dick Van Dyke Show is as relevant today as any other sitcom. And I said, if only it were in color, it would stand up to anything that's on TV today. And the response from our 10-year-old was, it is in color. And then we had this little debate where I said, no, it's not in color. And I said, yes, it is in color. So I relayed that story to Dick Van Dyke's wife. And I said, please tell Mr. Van Dyke this story that a 10-year-old not only enjoys the show, but that the show, this was the profound part, the show is so good that they saw it in color. And that kind of, even still kind of gives me a little bit of chills to think about. It goes to show how our brains work. But here's a kid watching an old black and white show, and a lot of kids don't like black and white. They saw it in color. So that tells you how good it is. And she did reply and said, I will tell, she calls him Mr. She said, I'll tell Mr. that. I really wanted to chat with him, but I couldn't make that connection happen. I have the DVD box set, and I tried to get her to, I said, can I send this? And he could sign it. And then that communication stopped. And I get it, you know. I get it. Um, but that was that. Oh yeah, Dick Van Dyke, my other favorite show, Carol Burnett. You guys remember that? I told you I wrote a paper when I was in 6th grade that one day I was going to have my own show and it's going to be like the Carol Burnett show. I loved that show, and I do have a signed autographed picture from Carol Burnett as well, but not Dick Van Dyke. And it's probably not going to happen now because he's turning 100. You know, you got to face the facts when you're turning 100. You're on the short side of life big time when that happens. David, good question about Chicanic. I need to reach out to Bree because we connected at the Equip Expo, and I need to try and get her on here. We've talked. I think I emailed her a couple times, but good reminder on that because she has a lot of good information. All right, Carl Reiner. That's it. Thank you. Of course, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Carl Reiner and Rob Reiner was on on All in the Family. Yeah, Linda, Mork and Mindy. I did love Mork and Mindy. I haven't seen reruns of that, but it was probably dumb. But I loved it. Oh, Chips. Chips was a great show. I like that too. All right. Oh, so many good ones here. Starsky and Hutch. My gosh. Those were fun. How about Beretta with again, what's his name? But he got arrested for murdering his wife or something like that. Crazy. So here's a real question about tractors. Let's get back on track, and then we'll do the sticker giveaway. But the rural world is wondering how the Bommalite mini skid mulcher compares to the rear-mounted mulcher on the Kubota. It's awesome. It's not as powerful as, well, depends on the tractor, but the 3-point mulcher is 4 feet wide. It's pretty powerful on my tractor, and my tractor's undersized. So if you put that on a 35 horse or more, it's going to be amazing. The thing, that's a monster. Now, the mini skid steer mulching head is only, I think, 3 feet wide, but what's great is that you can get in tight places with it. You can get under trees with it. So it has its purpose, and you can mulch probably a 2-inch tree with that mini mulcher. So it's pretty significant. So there, if you have an open space that you're going to clear, that doesn't make sense. But you know what I mean, like a big area that you're going to clear, you could use the mulcher on the tractor and just keep backing in and clear that. But now if you have specific areas like we have, where trails and things like that, now we're clearing a big area. Ann's been out there on the hill, as you saw today, trying to clear off the area there. We have a lot of the thorn bushes, stickers, Japanese barberry, invasive species. So we're trying to clear out a lot of that stuff. But the mini skid steer is also better, I think, on this hilly terrain. I think the tractor would have a harder time yet. Neither one of them are good for hilly terrain, though. You got to be careful with that. So they each kind of have a purpose, but we are loving that little mini skid steer. Is this trivia, or do you really want to know? Because I do know that she would tug on her ear as a little sign to her grandmother, I think. Yep. Here's the thing, Wade. I know we went from tractors back to TV. I don't like colorized shows. Like, if it was filmed in black and white, I want to watch it in black and white. I know they've colorized it, but I don't like that. I don't. And maybe a younger generation will appreciate it because they might not appreciate the black and white, but I don't like colorizing. It's just a thing. I don't know. I'm a purist. I'm a purist when it comes to television entertainment and movies. So anyway, I would choose to watch it in black and white. Rockford Files. I love that one too. Yes, Hunters, you got your Ford 4600. That's cool. You have to email me a picture of that sometime. I'd like to see it. Yes, Dennis the Menace passed away last week. Jay North. Jay North. He wasn't that old either. Yeah, Chris is not a fan of colorizing either, but with AI, the technology is really getting good. It is. That AI is really crazy. Another fad now is everybody's sharing pictures of themselves as an action figure. And I tried it, and after seeing it for a couple weeks, like, all right, I'll try it, and I wasn't happy with the results. But my goodness, like AI, it's hard to imagine what it's going to do. And I'm not going to like it when we see, Frank Sinatra in a movie now, because it's going to be AI, and it's going to look exactly like him and sound just like him. And really, you wouldn't know unless you knew. So I don't like that. I don't like the idea of, maybe seeing Elvis in concert with new songs. It's gimmicky, it's cool, but I hope we don't abuse it. I hope we don't. All right, let's do a sticker giveaway. My goodness, we're almost out of time. Here's the thing, sticker giveaway. You're going to enter a word or phrase as I share it on the screen as soon as I put it up on the screen. And we're playing for these stickers, the original MCG orange sticker and this custom-made, caution, use of this machinery may be addictive sticker made by me. You'll only get it here. Okay, let's do this. Since it's Easter week, we're gonna just do the word #eggs. That should be easy enough. In the live chat, type the word #eggs. Make sure you use the hashtag. Make sure there's no spaces. You can do uppercase, lowercase, combination, doesn't matter. #eggs. Just like, look how clever Wade is. Capital E, lowercase g. Anyway, #eggs. Chev had it did like that too. There you go, Hunter. You're in. You got a chance now. #eggs. Good. Like that. Okay. We'll accept a few entries, and then we'll draw. I'd like to give plenty of time. #eggs to win these stickers. Here they are. I heard people are coloring potatoes this year because eggs are so expensive. Is that true? I don't know. Not sure. We don't eat a lot of eggs here. And we get eggs from my sister, who has, free-range chickens, and they're usually brown eggs, so can't really color brown eggs. All right, here we go. Who's going to be the winner? We're going to find out in just a moment. How about now? Let's do it. Here we go. Tonight's winner of the sticker giveaway is our one and only Sarah and Tim. Congratulations, Sarah and Tim. Hunter, make sure you enter again next week. You'll have another chance. So, congratulations, Sarah and Tim. I need you to send me an email at contactmcgtv@gmail.com. Send me your name and postal mailing address, and I will get these stickers in the mail to you ASAP. Congratulations, Sarah and Tim. I like that profile picture of the dog. Congratulations. All right. Well, look, Monday night, Thanks again for being here. I do appreciate it. Hope to be back here next week. Hope to see you here next week. And I hope you have a great week. And again, if you celebrate Easter, I hope you have a beautiful and peaceful Easter Sunday coming up in 6 days. If you're celebrating Passover, I hope you have a great week with that too. And thanks for being here. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.